part 2.
Yeah, actually, talking about that though, a lot of people told me I shouldn't show that video to people. Like my mum was like, "Alex, you're never going to get a girlfriend."
Oh, the Hot Wings one. Well,
yeah.
Joel actually said to you in the video, didn't he? He was
Yeah.
like, "This is why you don't have a girlfriend, because you're literally sitting drooling into a bucket."
Oh, savage. Some girls like that.
The girls that I want to like me, I hope.
Did you bring your bucket with you? Please. No, that was horrendous though, and not something I would.
Yeah, I've never been one for like spicy food. I mean, I get why people like it, and it's quite addictive.
Yeah,
you know, and I really want to like it.
I think I really like things like do you know Levi Roots reggae sauce, stuff like that, where it's got like so much flavour to it and a bit of a kick as well. Yeah. Whereas by the end of these sauces, we were literally like. I said to you, didn't I? I was like, that tasted like I just stuck my tongue in the propeller of an aeroplane.
Yeah, it's just fucking punishing.
It's got no flavour to it. Yeah, it's got no flavour to it at all.
Do that to yourself?
I don't want anything in my mouth that hurts.
No, it's exactly.
Outrageous.
And it's like there's not even like, because some of them had quite a nice flavour, and then you'd swallow it, a few seconds would go past, and you'd be like, oh, that's got a bit of a kick to it. But this one is literally just like pure shit. Like it's just not fucking nice at all.
You're not getting them out, mate.
I was about to say we have got them if you want to.
No, I do not.
We don't have to do all of them. I'm just thinking maybe number 8 might be.
It's not
even the worst one.
I'm not going to the radio later. I'll be on Barry White.
That's all you truckers out there. You stay safe on the icy roads.
Oh my god.
That's terrible.
Oh dear. So I was one thing as well before. If you haven't seen, watch the other episodes. We're talking about Ross and your comedy career and everything, and how you're moving along. What's it like to know that your daughter is more famous than you?
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? But I know that ultimately I will win when she's a teenager and sees the shit I've lathered online. She's phenomenal. She's adorable.
I see you post a lot of stuff with your daughter.
So sweet.
Yeah,
nice.
not like only funny stuff. I must stress that, because I was always very much like, I've never been a kid person really, you know what I mean?
Says the father in the room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love her to bits, and I do feel like this is one of the reasons why Holly and I, my other half, we've both said like that no more, because I feel like we've hit the jackpot. Our biggest worry was like having a little dick, you know. You just try everything, but they're just a little knobhead, and you just want to like, you can't take them anywhere. And,
don't play with the knives.
You stabbed another stranger in Asda.
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
you know the ones that are like in the harvesters, just ripping all the plaster off the wall and eating it. You just think, like,
It's the only thing he eats. It's the only thing he eats.
It keeps him quiet. Yeah, that shit. Yeah.
So yeah, and she's like ridiculously good talker, and has been since she was like, she's 3 now, and I think she started talking like that, like less than a year old. But like full sentences and like no hair whatsoever. Yeah. Like toddling around talking. It's like having Vern Troyer walking down my living room. And she's like she's got such a character as well. And because she's super intelligent and she just like she takes in everything you say. Like I can put her into situations and she does them and they're quite funny. So
reacts very well.
Yeah, so it was one video years ago. When you say years ago, she was about 18 months older, so about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was just a video of her laying on me, and I was saying, "Come, let's go and have a bath," and she was kicking off about it. Like, no, don't want to go a bath. I don't like it, and it was like super cute because she looked like a newborn as well because she had no hair.
Yeah.
It was like a robot baby, like saying this stuff is just unheard of, and I put it on like my Facebook, and like it got like a couple of 100 likes and that overnight, and then I think my sister had sent it to that Pretty 52, which is one of the Lad Bible pages.
Yeah.
So they shared it, and then it was like a couple of million, and then
fuck, really?
9gag ended up going over it. And by the time like everything had sort of plateaued, it had about 15 million views like across the platforms. It just went mental.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was like, more of that then.
Yeah.
She's now supporting Russell as well. So.
Just sit her on stage. Oh wow.
So yeah, she's and now I mean, do you know what? It was lovely. There was no bad reading the comments was just so super humbling. It was really it really did put a smile on people's faces. This thing on the internet, it's kids and animals. Yeah, that's what people want to see. And she's like a super cute kid, and we were getting messages, still get messages today from people all over the world that just like totally dote on her. And like if I don't post it on my story for like a few days, I get people giving it, mate, from like India and quite
like Peru.
Where's Lexi?
Where's she at? Yeah.
But it's super humbling. The only place where there was horrible comments was the Daily Mail, of course.
Shock.
Like the people that live on them comments, just the festering.
Why do you need to why do you need to say horrible things?
They do it. That it's the trolls. You go on any newspaper website and then you look at the comments. They say things for a reaction.
Just for the sake of it, yeah.
And I was like, this is when I was working at the time. And I was working in this shitty factory, gluing glass to metal all day. My most boring fucking job in the world. And I got it because she fell pregnant. I used to always sort of like I was DJing or doing different things, always skint, but used to do my own thing. And obviously, when she fell pregnant, I had to sort it out and get some stability in my life. Yeah. Only to squander it away 3 years later. As soon as my daughter went viral on the internet.
Yeah, it's happened.
I made $47 out of that video, Holly.
And you said I'd never amount to anything.
So yeah, we. What was I saying?
So you were gluing glass to metal.
So I'm sitting there. I basically ran the production for this company, and that sounds a lot more glamorous than what it was. It was a factory that glued glass to metal, and I had 2 members of staff, and one of them was like pushing 80. Right, so the conversation was dead out. So I just pretty much like left them to it, and I'll just sit on a computer all day. And when this video went viral, obviously my notifications just going off the hook, and I'm like looking at all the comments. And then the Daily Mail shared it, and I was like, and then I started looking through the comments, and people were like the most horrendous shit though, like what a disgustingly ugly baby and stuff like that.
Fuck.
And it's just you're just like, find out where you live, I'll burn your fucking house down. So yeah, I did feed the trolls for a bit. Just
in local news, crazed man goes around burning people's houses down.
Not like literally, but like just commenting underneath and saying like the most hateful shit to them. Just trying to imagine the kind of person it is, and then saying like the most hateful shit. You just sit at home on your own every single day, crying tears into your cat who fucking hates you.
I didn't know that because I've seen obviously that you post the videos on your story and stuff with Lexi and whatnot, but I didn't know you'd had a video that had blown up that much. It's like what you were saying before we started this, it's just throwing shit at the wall.
Absolutely,
literally, with anything like this, any like all the kind of stuff that you're dabbling in, your comedy and stuff, is just waiting for that one thing that's like.
It's a social media generation now. You've got everyone has got access to millions of people at their fingertips. You don't need a big production company. You can just literally pull your phone out your pocket, record some content out, and hit a button.
I thought you said you could just literally record porn. No, you literally record porn. I mean, that is one way of getting famous.
Do that. Well, if you're recording porn, then you're doing some weird voyeuristic porn on the screen.
To be honest, I'm not going to get many views doing that. I know my market, and porn is not my selling point.
You might have an in there. It's niche.
Yeah, niche.
Just put yourself under BBWs. No one will ever know that.
You're right though, innit? But that's one of the things I suppose that comes with it. It's a massively competitive thing, isn't it? Because you think the amount of billions and billions, and YouTube is $1 billion company now. So it's an offspring from, is it Google?
Google have bought it now.
Google have bought
it.
So
it was like an independent entity.
But Google bought it, and now it's worth billions on its own as a separate entity. But
and it's phenomenal. Facebook as well. I mean, I think where Facebook started introducing video, YouTube's probably taken a bit of a hit. You still got to put it out there. But like when you're doing anything in media, whether it's comedy, radio, podcasting, sketches, whatever it is, you are competing, like you say, with so many people going for such a small amount of spots. And like I say, what you've got now that you didn't have 15, 20 years ago is access to that that sheer amount of people. And it's like you say, you don't win a raffle without buying a ticket. You want to increase your chances of winning in the raffle, then you have to buy more tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's just about pumping it out. And the weirdest shit goes viral as well. Like when you had things like when stuff like Vine was around and all that kind of thing, and I forgot the name now, but there's one.
Vine. That was.
But that's all. It's just and like that. It came into mind because you said Facebook, because Facebook is like short. YouTube is more like slightly longer stuff, isn't it? You don't go on YouTube to watch like 40-second clips.
Like all
the shorter stuff goes on Facebook. But then Vine was like this It was 6 seconds and they increased it to 10, didn't they?
That's right.
Just people making comedy sketches and stuff that were like 6 to 10 seconds long.
A friend of mine actually, and good comedian Lenny Sherman, went pretty viral on Vine. I think he had a big following on there, but it just came and went, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't continue it, to be fair.
But some people made a killing out of it, and then they were the big faces that were on the homepage and stuff like that. But
I think it probably is a lot to do with Facebook and Instagram and that merger and just the rise of video content.
Video, didn't they? And then
they went, "What's the point? We'll just buy you."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sort of the same. Yeah, I mean, because Instagram has got like a limited amount of seconds on a video, isn't it?
I think it's 60, isn't it?
Something like that.
60 seconds, I believe.
So if you can, which is a bit better, a bit longer, you can. There's a bit more scope for more creativity. If you've got that bit longer, and it's still easily digestible when you're scrolling through someone.
Yeah, well, this is the thing we were looking at when we were doing the podcasts and everything, because I know that there's certain groups that will do very long podcasts and they'll talk. And to be fair, we do quite a lot. We talk for about...
Ours are very long compared to the average.
But we break ours down into 20-minute segments. Yeah. So it's something that's a little bit more manageable where people can go, oh, okay, I can watch that on like a train journey or whatever.
I think it's still long. But rather than, and particularly while we've got like small amounts of following like right now, it's easier for us to get someone to commit to us for 20 minutes than it would be as soon as you see an hour timestamp on a video. It's like,
of course, it puts you off watching it. Yeah.
I look at 7 minutes, I go, oh no.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But you as long as you kind of know, like and we're gaining a slow following and stuff, but your audience knows what they're getting. Yeah. And by breaking it down into 20-minute segments, it gives us a new start every 20 minutes as well. So
I think it's more easily more easily digestible. It's not easy to pronounce
those words.
But I think you're right. I think about anywhere around 30 minutes is good. The average commute. People, if you're bringing out a podcast on a last thing on a Sunday, so it's there for the Monday morning. It hits people that are subscribed. They get on the train in the morning. They'll listen to the podcast. But then saying that, Joe Rogan podcast 2 hours long sometimes. But then he's got the following for it. I think once people are invested in what you're going to say, then they'll listen to you till the cows come home.
Yeah, you've got people that need to buy into like your.
What you're selling,
and then at that point, you'll get people who are so committed. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you post, it doesn't matter what content you're giving away, like all that kind of thing. Because you get YouTubers who will go like 3 months without posting anything, and then all of a sudden, because they've got such a massive following, whatever they post 3 months down the line,
that's it. Yeah,
like everyone's going to watch it anyway because they're committed.
Credibility. Is what we were talking about before. Yeah, there's an MMA podcast I listen to. Like about the UFC and stuff like that. Ariel Helwani's MMA show. It's like 5 hours long.
Wow,
Jesus!
But it has that's
a long haul.
It's broadcast live as well. It's like a program and then podcasted. But he has like all of the fighters. So if there's a big fight either coming up or it's happened, he has like all the fighters on that card and we'll like interview them and then just have like a list of contents for the time.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. He'll do like a big recap at the beginning and then it's just guest for 5 hours.
Wow, Jesus.
But generally though, there's certain people you want to hear the interviews of, other people you don't. You fast forward or whatever.
Through it. Yeah. I think 20 minutes is fairly manageable. Like in terms of posting these out, but
bite size.
So are you into the old MMA then? Well, you must be if you're watching 5 hours.
Watching it, I've got the physique of an 8-year-old boy. I'm not doing it.
Me too. That makes the two of us.
you were sussing out my next question.
I like the UFC. I used to love boxing. I still like boxing, but it's just a bit. I started watching UFC a few years ago, and it's a little bit hard to enjoy boxing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, with all like the stopping and the starting and the clinching and like, you knock them down. Oh, go and stand over there. Wait. You got 10 seconds until you're ready again. MMA. It's like
elbow him,
kick him in the head
until he's out.
Falls on the floor, then jump on him and just start smashing his head. It's a lot more.
What point do I stop? Well, when he stops moving.
Okay. If he stops like breathing, then
that's fine to stop.
I'm not knocking boxing. It's a very skillful sport, and you need to be super athletic to.
But from an entertainment aspect, you'll think it jumps to different levels.
And I also think that the UFC in particular have just nailed the production of these events, like the pay-per-view. Because whenever there's a big boxing match, the undercard is just notoriously hard to get through. Yeah. It's just boring. You know what I mean? It's not like whereas. The big fights at the UFC, they stack the cards and you'll have like 2 or 3 title fights on the same card. Yeah. every fight means something.
I think with the UFC, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I do find it way more easy to watch than watching boxing. But I think
Joe Rogan commentating.
Well, I think they've combined wrestling and boxing in terms of those two worlds. Because you get
like the entertainment element.
Yeah, because you get a backstory and everything to all and they're more characters than they are fighters, aren't they?
Definitely, as far as the production's concerned, definitely.
Yeah. Would you say that arguably that Conor McGregor was one of the big turning points as to that?
Well, there's no arguably about it.
He's the one, isn't he?
He is the one. Mate. Yeah. Ronda Rousey, Chuck Liddell, people like that, they kind of brought it to the forefront, but nowhere near on the level that McGregor did it.
It was almost a performance, really, isn't it?
That's what I mean. It's it's combining that storytelling of wrestling with the element of fighting.
Yeah. And he just captivated everyone. Everyone loves an underdog story as well, and he come from nothing and went in and he literally said, I'm going to run through everyone on this roster, and did everything that he said
he's going to do.
Regardless of what he's doing now.
But I've no idea. I've seen some videos of him doing some insane things. I'm like, dude, what are you up to? But it was...
a lot of money that quickly would do something.
One thing I think is very admirable, interesting from his business acumen mind, is that when he went in there, I can understand as an entity of UFC, if you've got a talented fighter like that who's very entertaining, you could kind of quickly be sort of chewed up and thrown out and be like, okay, you're done. But he sort of became part of it, didn't he? He sort of Conor McGregor, productions, there's an element to it when he's forced his name. He's forced his name into it, and he's embedded himself so intertwined with it all.
I think the difference between him and everyone else is that he just did what he said he'd do. Loads of people have come out in the years and had all the bravado and had all the trash talk and everything else, but he didn't just tell you he was going to do it. He did it, and that whole Aldo thing. I don't know if you know the backstory in that, but Aldo was he was undefeated for 10 years. One of the most respected fighters in the UFC, and Conor McGregor went all around the world on a tour with press tour with him, and just said the most horrendous shit to him every single day. And this guy's used to everyone respecting him. Americans are as well. They're super. I'm just happy to be in there with a guy like this. It's always some opportunity for me.
Then he beats the shit out of you.
Exactly. And Conor was he learned how to say pussy in Brazilian because the guy was going to Brazil calling him a pussy and taking his belt off him and getting in his... And you could just see that Aldo, he just did not know how to deal with that. And it went on for ages because Aldo ended up getting injured right before the fight, and then Conor took another fight on weeks' notice and smashed that geezer as well. And then went around the world with him again, and everyone was like, Aldo's going to fucking kill him. He's he's too good for him. He's, blah, blah, blah. And he knocks him out in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Yeah. And when he did that, it's all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Cool. That's the thing. But if on that one fight, if that had gone the other way and he'd given it all this mouth and whatnot,
finished.
That would have been it, wouldn't it? Yeah. So it's a massive gamble to do something like that. Because it's either it's going to pay off or everyone's going to think.
And you've got to think to yourself: do I become a sort of do I tailor my mouth and become a bit quiet, and then maybe get more fights and continue, and then get some, probably about
bomb it?
Say, balls to the wall, just go for it.
What I love about him, he follows the law of attraction, and this is something that I kind of base my life around very loosely, right? Not base my life around, but I don't believe in much spirituality or religion or anything like that. But this is the only thing that I delved into a little bit, and I can see the science behind it, right? So everything's made of the same thing: particles, atoms. Yeah. And energy is a thing. The world was created by energy. That is everywhere. So it's what you put out is what you attract. It's like you wake up in the morning in a shit mood. You stub your toe on the bed, and you walk out. You drop your fucking toothbrush down the back of the toilet. And it spirals, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he just had this. Everything he said, he truly believed.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it to be just talk shit. I will go in there. I will do this. It will happen.
Yeah.
And when it started going wrong for him, is after the money was there, the same level of want to go through your training camp and be beaten up every single day for 2 months. Yeah. And then go in the ring in front of everybody and get beaten up again. Yeah. I'd imagine when you've got £100 million.
Don't need to do it anymore, do you?
Yeah. So
you've got a lovely swimming pool in the back and go in the sauna.
Yeah. Or I can stand in here and get beaten up.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's happened in a very short space of time, and he is still just a little toe rag from Dublin.
Yeah.
And now he's out, but now he's got fucking millions of pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, the geezer literally someone calling his mate in New York while he's in Dublin. And like, if you had no money, that's the equivalent of like someone in the pub. Oh, so and so around the corner has just threatened your mate down the road, and he's like, "Come on, boys, we've got to the pub. We'll beat his fucking head in." Right? And then, but he got on a jet, flew to America. He's had time to digest it. You know what I mean? He's had time to calm down.
Maybe this is not the smartest idea.
13-hour flight, gets off the plane, fucking smashes up a bus, blows the fire.
That's one of his biggest incentives as well. It's like the entity of the reason why you should probably stop is the thing that you're travelling in. Like you'd be like, I could lose this.
Did you just? I mean, it costs like what, £2 million to charter this jet? Yeah. Do you think we're going a little bit over the top?
Is it necessary?
Look, boys, I'm up for the fight, but I'm just gonna have a quick nap quickly. Just like, and then you're still waking up pissed off. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
I do love I totally agree with you on the law of attraction thing though, and I found it through I'd come out
your UFC fights.
No, incorrect, because I also have the body of an 8-year-old. But I came out of a relationship and was just kind of muddling my way through, trying to find something, whatever I was going to do next for my life, to keep myself busy and stuff. And I found Tony Robbins.
Oh yeah.
And just started listening to his seminars and stuff. And in a month, like I shit you not, in a month, my entire mindset and just the way that I viewed my day-to-day life and the things that I was going to do just completely changed.
Exactly, yeah.
I could feel it changing as well. And it sounds mental, but like I literally just paid attention to what he was saying and about how you conduct yourself and the way and I just flipped myself around and was like, and I've never been a negative person, but now I literally see life as just an opportunity.
Exactly, and that's the way to be, and you find that you'll just be happier. At the end of the day, I thought to myself, the worst that can happen by trying this is I will be thinking a little bit more positively. Yeah. And that can't be a bad thing.
No, exactly.
Of course not.
And obviously the hardest times to think positive is when things are going crap.
Down the
right? Yeah, of course.
But that, ironically, is the time that you need to do it the most if you want to pull yourself out of it. It's all about being on vibrations. It all sounds very poncy.
No, but I totally get it, because it does work. And I think there's so many people who are just bogged down in that mindset that just everything's shit.
Yeah, man.
I hate that. People who get up on a Monday like, I can't fucking wait for it to be Friday afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you just you should just get more of that in your life. Yeah. And I cut a lot of negative people out of my life. And I, things of law of attraction is the first thing I put it into was comedy, actually.
Yeah.
It was like I'd basically come out of a job DJing that just a rug pulled out of my feet. I was a resident somewhere earning decent money, and then overnight it was gone, and I went into this spiral of depression and shit. And my missus Holly got me onto the Secret, which is like this American way. And I watched it. It tells you about the law of attraction, but I'm sitting there like rolling. What is this shit? But then I'm sitting down in the basement at the time, and I was sitting down there on the laptop, and I was like, I'll just have a little look into it. And then I started seeing all these, like Einstein followed the law of attraction, and that geezer knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
correct. There's loads of famous,
like
mental through time, and I thought it's too much to just change your whole mindset and think to everything in life. But if I just focus it on one thing I want to change, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. And it was comedy. I'd never gigged. I'd always wanted to gig. Didn't have any jokes, and that's why I started a vision board and put all comedy related stuff on there. And 2 days later after doing it, I was down the pub with John Oakes, who I now do the radio show with. I didn't know him that well. And he was like, and he come out the blue, I really want to give stand up a go. And I was like half cut, and I'm like, oh, that's a fucking sign, we're doing it, right? And I know a few people in the industry, obviously, and I rang Matt Brown, who's a good friend of mine, runs one of the best alternative comedy clubs in Kingston. And I was like, Matt, I want to do my first gig with my mate, a gig give us 3 months. Yeah. Booked it 3 months in advance, and I've just remembered it was 6 years to the day. Tonight.
Hey.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 18th of March, mate, unbelievable. I would have been shitting my pants, right?
But I'm
fantastic.
Like anybody who just wants to do something different, rather, because a lot of people are just like, oh, I've got a job, someone's going to pay me, I'll sit here for the next 45 years. Just anybody 100%. That wants to do something a little bit
go do it. Have something
ambitious.
Else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You've got to work, you've got to earn money to live. That is the world we live in. But you've got to have something else. Yeah. You've got to, because I'm telling you now, that is the very definition of a midlife crisis. People waking up at 50, the generation before us is very much a working, you go away, you get a job, you knuckle down, you get a job, knuckle down, everything else comes second. Yeah. For me, it's the opposite. Yeah. The job, although I spend most of my time there, that is number 2. That's something I have to do. Yeah. there has to be something else. Because at least then, you know, I'll wake up at 50, and if it hasn't all gone well, at least I know I threw something, and I'll still be doing it as well. There's no way I will give all of my life to someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm fucking bored.
Have you stopped and restarted? Yeah, it's just fucked off.
just because I'm conscious that we're having a good
beautiful moment as well. I'll still go on for the age of 50 and.
I tried to do that so subtly without anyone clocking that I disappeared for a second as well. No, but carry on with what you were saying, because like we're having a good conversation, so we just keep going with it. But
yeah, so I just think it's super important to just have something else, because you know I watch like my old man and my mum. They're both grafters, always worked, but you know they're not. They had their own dreams and aspirations that have all sort of just been put on hold for kids or whatever else. And you know, we've had a kid, but we said, you know, it was a conversation we had. It wasn't, Lexi wasn't planned, but you know, and so we had a conversation about. So it's mental to say that now, but you know, and one of them was that, you know, we give her everything that we can give her and give her the best start in life, but we can't we need to have our own lives as well. So you know, when it gets to a point, we don't just. Some people live to have kids, and that's fine. Yeah. But you know, there's no dress rehearsals here, mate. And if you're like me and you're an atheist and you don't believe in an afterlife or whatever else, cosmically we are just spinning on a fucking rock. Yeah. And it's a touch really that we've got all this emotion and shit. So I just feel like you should just be. Yeah, you should be running head on at your fucking whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah. And don't.
I mean, and what do you lose? By doing that,
exactly.
What do you lose?
Just like a bit of hard work, mate. That's all it is, and it's cliche to say it, but like, you know, I've gone through enough setbacks, and I'm nowhere near where I need to be. You know, things are going all right. I'm on the right track, but it's still a piss in the ocean. What I'm punting for it. But like, it's what separates people that will get there and people that don't is when you hit that obstacle, or like if you're expecting something and it doesn't happen, or the deal that you thought you were going to close ends up pulling out and you're back at the starting point, or your business partner mugs you off and you've got no money. The people that just go, oh fuck this, I'm just going to get a job. They will wake up at 50 and buy a Harley Davidson, mate. You know what I mean?
Because it's.
I'm going to wake up at 50 and buy a Harley Davidson for the right reasons. Just because I like Harley Davidson.
People try things, but it's persistence, isn't it? But I do think there's an element you've got to love it enough to stay committed to it. Like obviously you love your comedy, you should be committed to it for God knows how long now. And like for us, like we could have easily done 2 or 3 of these videos, and they get like the first few, and still now, you know, they get like we've by no means made it. Like I think at the point of recording this, we're at like 86 subscribers, and I'm refreshing it every 30 seconds, waiting for it to hit 1 million. You know, but we could have posted our first couple of videos and been like, 30 people watch that. You know, fuck that off. What a waste of time. But as long as you're doing something like genuinely love doing these and getting people on, you know, like, you know, we don't know each other very well at all, but just sit here and have this conversation and find out more about people who are on a deeper level than just kind of like, what do you do at the weekend and all that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But it's
you've got to have a passion, haven't you?
Exactly.
And if you're passionate about it, then.
And what you're saying is absolutely right. And I watch a lot of those. Like I love a motivational speech. Like I've got them tattooed on my body. Like it's so wanky, but I love the shit out of it because it keeps me going.
What motivational speech have you got tattooed on you, or do you not want to share?
I have the one from Coach Carter on my arm because, like, genuinely, I struggled through high school. Like, I never wanted to study or revise or any of that bullshit. And just for some weird reason, my mum bought this. I'd never even heard of the film. She bought it for like £3. She was like, "That's about basketball. You might like it." And it just really hit me. I don't know why. Like, and it's about this whole bunch of kids in a really rundown place in America, and then just like this success story that came out of it because this coach pushed them a little bit harder than anybody else had.
It's a great film, actually. Yeah.
And like,
I've not seen it.
Well, what?
Yeah.
That's a good. This is why you're doing nothing with your life.
I don't believe in this positive mental energy. But I was sitting outside in a blanket in the freezing rain.
Bear in mind, these kids are part of gangs and stuff, and they just play basketball because they love basketball, whatever. But this dressed up man in a suit comes in, and he just starts saying to these kids, like, "What is your deepest fear? You know, what is your deepest fear?" And they keep saying, like, "What the fuck is he talking about? Why does he keep asking me that really weird question?" You know. And then, like, as the film goes on towards the end of the film, and then, like, he loses his job because the rest of the school don't believe in what he's doing and all this, to have the kid that he keeps asking his question, who's lost his uncle to gang violence and all of this stuff, stand up, and then he finishes the sentence for him. And he goes into what the speech means and, like, where it comes from. And he's And it's just this amazing thing where it's like this success story from this kid, and I'd like genuinely, I'd watch the film and then I'd go and revise. Because it was like something about this film has made me move into that.
Inspiring, isn't it? Inspiring language.
All that shit. And some people do think it's really wanky and whatnot, but like, from what you were saying before, you've got to have a passion, you've got to have something you want to do without losing motivation and sort of getting to that midlife crisis point. And again, another wanky thing I've seen, I don't know if you've seen them, but this guy, Prince EA, does like lyrical videos about motivation on YouTube. All with like visuals and stuff, but he was talking about, he uses analogies a lot. And he was saying somebody asked a pilot about aeroplanes and like how they get worn and torn and damaged in the air and stuff. And he was and he said the pilot responded and said, actually, the most dangerous place for a plane is on the ground. Planes are made to fly, and it's wanky, innit? You know?
To be fair, mate, I thought you were going to burst out the song just then.
No, but isn't it? Like planes are meant to fly, but at the same time, it's like you're not born.
As are your dreams.
all that shit. But Tony Robbins, all that stuff. A lot of people listen to it and be like, "Oh, this fucking moron."
It's wanky because you're just conditioned to think a different way and to kind of suppress your creativity. The schooling system that is what it is.
So you have nosebleeds.
The school is. I was never good academically at school. Really, I done quite well in English, but my report was always the same. If Ross only applied himself, you know what I mean? It's a massive distraction. I'm like, if I got laughs out of people, you just would never stop.
I was exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Bunks a lot of year 11. Didn't I would turn up for the exams and I recognised that I had to get the exams done. But I think realistically, when I come away with the GCSEs, I got an A and a B in English. And an A in drama, and then it was like D's and shit. Maths, I just could not see the fucking point. I was like, A+, but what are you talking about, mate?
Yeah. Why does it matter?
Why does it matter? Yeah. I'm going to have a calculator, and that was the funny thing. Our teachers would say to us, "You ain't going to be carrying a calculator around in your pocket." There you go.
Yes,
Yes, I wrote a pie on there. I've got fucking Google on it.
What a waste of time. How do they do that?
And why would I need to solve a quadratic equation in the middle of a fucking road?
How do maths teachers get away with that now? Like, just like the kids must just be like, "Sir, I've just worked this out." Like, I don't
think they do. I think all maths teachers have had mental breakdowns.
Don't get me wrong. I think I feel like maths is obviously important, like in things like just working out currency and day to day, but I feel I definitely learned that by, selling tickets for stuff, and when it's your money, it means something to you a bit more, and you learn that way. Yeah. But that's kind of what I'm saying. I just don't. The way our school system works in this country is that this is how we're going to teach all kids. All kids are going to learn this way.
Teaching a fish to climb trees.
Exactly the same, right? And you put 30 kids in a room, one or two of them kids. That's not how they work. I learn by doing stuff. You put me on it and do it. Leave me alone for a little while, and I'll work it out. And a little bit of coaching, and I'll get there. And a lot of other kids are like that. And when they don't learn pen on the page and exam-wise like that, they don't understand, so they fall behind in their work. Then they become disruptive because they don't understand what's being said. Then they get labelled as naughty, and they get put in a corner. They get put in a special class. Get told that it's that when you've got like these 16, 17-year-old chavs that used to come to me when I was working in like kids that had like re-engagement programs and stuff. That's harsh to say that, actually. They're not all like that, but I'm just trying to put a stereotype to give the kind of people that you would look at and think that kid's a little wrong or whatever. If you actually look back through that kid's life, I guarantee if he had just been taught a slightly different way when he was 5, 6, 7, 8, then he wouldn't be on the path that he is. But it's all very fucking deep.
And again, and that's what I love about doing this, and that's exactly why when we set this up, I was like, I just want it to be an open floor to just go into all.
It's an interesting discussion point, which I'm going to throw up just a different point. Is that obviously I think it's fundamental that you learn about each child and how they do learn and whatnot. And I think people, there are certain progressions towards doing that. But then you've also got to account of how many millions of children that need to be easy in our country. And then it becomes like, a practicality level and everything. And how do you facilitate those
it's not
sorts of things?
It's not easy to we haven't got the result. Well, we could have the resources if there was a better distribution of wealth, but we're certainly not going to go into that tonight.
But we have not got 5 hours.
But I think the key is just recognising at the top level in education that some kids don't learn that way, and then at least trying
to move towards.
Having there's certain schools dotted about the country that are like nature schools, and it's like kids go and they learn how to live off the land basically in this school. Most of what they do is outside. They do a little bit of academics indoors, but building, climbing, making fires, shelters.
Yeah. It's Finland have the shortest school day in the world, and their education is really different, really modernised, and they've got the best results.
Yeah, I've heard that
completely differently.
Most other cultures, kids don't start school till they're 7. Most
smaller
cultures,
classes of 10, 12 kids rather than packing 30, 40 kids in a room. I don't
like to say obviously it's not feasible to do something like that overnight and be able to do it, but it's just about we should be just recognising.
No, I think you should get more children.
Encouraging.
I think you should really put a lot of stigma, social pressures, get them really tense and worried and worked up, and then they'll be brilliant workers for society.
Well,
that's
this is
even the subject matter is just it's not changed. And you don't have classes for social media and even teaching kids how to handle the endorphins and stuff that you get from all that, which 11-year-old kids are now wide open to. Is we didn't have those problems.
Why are we not teaching kids about rent and bills and stuff like that?
HMRC.
Why is no one teaching kids that? Yeah. That's what you really need to learn.
Simple as how to set up your own business if you want to.
Well, that's it. I was the first class that had business studies. It was the first year they brought it in.
But even that, you only get it at an extensive level. Our school only did it at sixth form. You didn't get a choice all the way through.
I needed someone to say, right, well, I think it's something ridiculous, something like 40% of people leaving school will be self-employed, freelance. They'll go into trades, they'll have their own business or something of that sort of level. A very high percentage of people who will need to learn how to do their own taxes and all that sort of thing. And they're not designed to be able to be done well. They want you to fail, so you pay a load of cash.
Yeah. It could surely be so much easier, couldn't it?
Yeah,
what I mean? This is how much I made. This is how much I spent.
This is how much I don't want to give you.
To prove that, how much have I got to give you? How much are you going to shaft me for today?
How much can I claim back for haircuts? Because I'm an actor, you see, and I need that for auditions.
But it's not, without getting too much into it, it's not of benefit to the wider system for everyone to be really strongly educated on how to avoid taxes and stuff, is it?
If you're looking at it on a deeper level, then obviously the education system's the way it is because they want to breed robots, and the fucking taxman's like that because he wants you to give all the money that you've earned back to him.
And he'll give you a little bit back.
Give you just enough. Just enough. That should be another Bear Grylls programme. Find me over Bear Grylls trying to survive in London on minimum wage. For the last 5 minutes.
Can't drink your own piss and that.
Yeah, exactly. That ain't gonna fucking help you.
Right, well, we've gone fucking on that. I really enjoyed that. That was we just kept going, apart from my escape to put the camera back on.
No, nothing happened. You didn't realise it.
No, that's very true. But so we'll cut that one there, and then really good stuff though. That was really good.
Nice. This has been
good shit.
Bucking Around. Yes, he did the click.